So in our previous session, we were focusing upon the concept of assets. We talked about the different type of assets. We talked about tangible assets, intangible assets, fixed assets, current assets. We talked about the liquid assets as well. And we talked about one more asset category, that is investments. Today we'll be focusing upon the concept of liabilities. And once we are done with the liabilities part, the terminologies part will get over. Then we'll start directly with our calculations, with our topic of the journal entries, the different types of transactions, the different types of accounts is what we are going to talk about after that. So let's come over that one by one. Let's first talk about what do we mean by the concept, by the term liability. Ajinkya had mentioned that yesterday itself, that fictitious asset I'll be talking about at a later point. I had made this as a point yesterday itself. Yeah, here we are. नहीं, प्रॉब्लम सॉल्यूशन की बात नहीं है, वो तो हम लोग बाद में सॉल्व करते रहेंगे. फॉर नाउ वी हैव टू फोकस ऑन द लाइबिलिटीज. राइट, बातें उनकी करो जो रियलिटी में हो, जो फिक्टिशियस है उनके बारे में क्या बात करना. Isn't it? Liabilities. The liabilities are basically divided into liability towards owners and the liability towards the outsiders. Now, what do I mean by liability towards the owners? That is capital and reserves and surplus. Reserves and surplus. Whereas, what are the liabilities to the outsiders? Are the long-term liabilities, or the current liabilities, or the current liabilities. Within long-term liabilities, you have something called as secured loans or unsecured liabilities. And there is one more category that we can talk about here, is the concept of provisions. That is also a liability. So these are the primary liabilities of a business, some towards the owner, some towards the outsiders. Why the amount payable towards the owners is considered as liability? Understand that very carefully. There is this concept. We are going to learn that at length at a later point. At this point, I'll only give you the reference of that. There is this concept called as business entity concept. What this business entity concept says, it says that when you are doing the accounting of transactions into your books of accounts, you should treat the owner and his business as separate entity for accounting purpose. I repeat, for accounting purpose, we should keep the owner and his business as the separate entity. Why we should be treating these two as the separate entity? Because the personal transactions of the owner should not come into the books of business. Please understand, from the legal point of view, the outside, sorry, the person who is owning the business and his business may be treated as same person. Like in case of a sole proprietorship business, the owner and his business are treated as one and the same. बिजनेस का प्रॉफिट ये ओनर का ही प्रॉफिट माना जाता है. In case of partnership, the Indian Partnership Act by itself says that owner and the partner and partnership form is one and the same thing. तो लीगल पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से अगर देखा जाए तो ये दोनों सेम है. But from the accounting point of view, you are not supposed to treat both these at the same level. You have to treat these two as the separate entity. तो जब हम बिजनेस की बात करते हैं, suppose there is this fellow called as Jumru, and Jumru has a business called as, let's say, Jumru Sons. Jumru and Sons. This is his business for which he is the owner on a proprietorship basis, sole proprietor. तो लीगल पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से ये दोनों सेम है, but for accounting point of view, these two will be treated separately. In in Jumru and Sons, you will be recording only business transactions, whereas the personal transactions of Jumru should not come into the books of business. And for that purpose, it is said, as the owner is a separate entity for the business, therefore, any amount brought in by the owner is treated as a liability of the business. However, as this liability remains within the business forever, this particular amount is not payable back to the owner till the time the business comes to an end. Therefore, that amount payable is considered as the capital of the business and not as any other liability. Did you people get this? Am I right for all? Write down the concept. Liabilities, under that you're writing first capital. Under that, first bullet. As per the business entity concept, as per the business entity concept, comma, for accounting purpose, the owner and his business, the owner and his business are treated as the separate entity. Are treated as the separate entity. Next point, write down. As per this concept, amount invested by an owner into the business, amount invested by an owner into the business is considered is considered as the liability for the business, as the liability for the business. Next point. However, as this amount remains, as this amount remains within the business, till it continues, such amount is shown as the capital of the business. Such amount is shown as the capital of the business. Am I right? Now, the next one that I've written is reserves and surplus. You must have heard till now, especially for the commerce students, that reserves are nothing but the profits of the business, or surplus is the profit of the business. So how can reserves and surplus be the liability of the business, and that too towards the owners of the business? Understand a point carefully in here. Reserves means basically the profits which are kept aside by a business for a future use. I repeat, the profits which are kept aside by a business for a future use in the business. In the similar way, the surplus is the amount of the profit which is not being distributed amongst the owners of the business. That is what we call as the surplus. Now, these reserves and surplus, if would have been distributed, if would not have been kept aside, then it would have been transferred to the owners of the business only or not. Because any profit or a loss arising to the business should be transferred to the owners of the business. But क्योंकि ये पैसा उनको ट्रांसफर नहीं किया गया, क्योंकि ये पैसा हमने अलग से उठा के रख दिया, तो जब कभी भी जरूरत पड़ेगी तो हमें ये अल्टीमेटली ओनर्स को ही बांटना पड़ेगा या नहीं. And therefore, even reserves and surplus are considered as the liability towards the owners of the business. Did you people understand what is reserves and surplus? Can you raise hands for me? And why it is treated as the liability of the business? Am I clear on that part as well? Yes, so write down the note on that first. Reserves and surplus. Under that, then is RDD a liability of the business? The very first thing, the term which has been used, Mr. Sandeep, is wrong. Sudeep Sawant, the term which is used there is wrong. It is in fact not RDD, it is the provision for doubtful debts. It is not a reserve for doubtful debt, but it is a provision for doubtful debt. Why? Because reserves are nothing but the profits which are kept aside, which can be created only in the year of profits of the business. It is an appropriation of profit. Whereas if you are anticipating a loss, you are keeping the money aside for that anticipated loss. I'll give you the distinction between reserves and provisions. You will be able to understand that. Such losses have to be created even in the year of losses. Such provisions have to be created even in the year of losses. And therefore, That is not a liability, but that is a reduction in the value of asset. How? I'll be talking about that. Sudeep, you first write down about reserves and surplus, and then we'll make the distinction between provisions and reserves once I finish the concept of provision. All right? Yes, write down reserves and surplus. Under that, first bullet, when a business keeps some part of its profit aside, reserves and surplus we are writing, when a business keeps some part of their profits aside for a future use within the business, for a future use within the business, it is called as reserves. Next point. Similarly, the profit not being distributed, the profit not being distributed to the owners of business, to the owners of business is called as surplus. Is called as surplus. Next point. If these reserves or surplus if these reserves or surplus are distributed comma, it will be given to the owners only. It will be given to the owners only. Therefore, मतलब वो चार लोग नहीं है, they are four, therefore वाला therefore such undistributed profits are considered as the liability of the business. Are considered as the liability of the business. Am I right? Now let's come to the next one. That is the long-term liabilities. If you have taken a loan because you were feeling alone, I'm sorry. Whenever you feel alone, you should first take a loan, right? So if you have borrowed some money, if you have taken some loan from some bank, financial institution, such loans are basically termed as the liabilities of the business. Now, if that loan is taken for a longer term purpose, then such loan is taken for the longer term purpose, generally more than a year. In such case, it is called as a long term liability. Neeraj Shah has a question that what is the major difference between reserves and surplus? Simple difference है भाई. अगर मैंने प्रॉफिट स्पेसिफिकली उठा के साइड रखा हुआ है, whether it is for general purpose or specific purpose, then it is reserves. और अगर मैंने प्रॉफिट किसी भी पर्पस के लिए रखा हुआ नहीं है, सिर्फ डिस्ट्रीब्यूट नहीं किया, then in that case it is called as surplus. दोनों के दोनों अनडिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड प्रॉफिट्स होते हैं. Am I right? हाँ. So the next point that I was talking about was the long-term liabilities. A borrowing for a period more than a year is generally termed as the long-term liability. However, practically speaking, the long-term liabilities are taken for a period of 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, or something like that. These long-term liabilities are available within the business for against a particular rate of interest. Now, why do we make the distinction between these long-term liabilities and short-term liabilities? There is a basic, simple reason behind that. आगे चल के जब आप financial management पढ़ोगे तो you'll be able to understand this. It is said in the financial management that when you are supposed to make the long-term investments, you should be utilizing the long-term liabilities for that. And if you want to make the short-term investments, you should be using the short-term liabilities for that. Why? Because when you are using the long-term liabilities for the short-term investments, long-term liability का cost of capital ज्यादा होता है. जब आप बैंक से funds borrow करते हो तो उसको आपको ज्यादा ब्याज देना पड़ता है. But when you are having the short-term borrowing, it may have the lower interest rate, lower cost of capital, but it is to be repaid immediately or not. And that's why it is said that the long-term borrowing should be used for long-term investments and short-term borrowing should be used for the short-term investments. इसीलिए हम लोग ये distinction करते हैं, ताकि इस distinction से हमको पता चले कि ये फर्म किस तरह से अपने पैसों को यूटिलाइज कर रही है, वो हम लोग को रिलेट कर पाए. That's why we need to make the distinction. Now, within that, I made the distinction as secured loans and unsecured loans. What do I mean by secured loan? When you have borrowed certain amount and against that borrowal, if you have given any kind of asset of yours as a security, in that case, it is called as a secured loan. मतलब ये, सपोज जब मैं कार लोन लेने जाता हूं तो उसके अगेंस्ट मेरी कार उनके पास सिक्योरिटी के तौर पे होती है. अगर मैं लोन अगेंस्ट गोल्ड लेता हूं तो गोल्ड मेरा सिक्योरिटी के तौर पे रहता है उनके पास. अगर मैं एफडी के अगेंस्ट लोन लेता हूं तो एफडी मेरी उनके पास सिक्योरिटी के तौर पे रहती है. So these loans are called as the secured loans, where I have given the security of my asset to the bank. Whereas जब मैंने खुद के नाम को उनके पास गिरवी रखा हुआ है और कोई भी असेट नहीं दे रखी है, when they have given the loan to me only on the basis of my credit worthiness, they have not taken anything in the form of a security. In such case, it is called as an unsecured loan. Please understand a point that a secured loan is a liability which is to be repaid. If not, in that case, your assets can be possessed by the lender of that money. अगर आपने बैंक से कार लोन लिया और बैंक को आपने उनका पैसे का भुगतान नहीं कराया, then bank has the authority to possess your car. They can sell it off to recover their funds. That's why they give the secured loans. However, unsecured loans में बैंक के ऊपर ज्यादा रिस्क होता है, बट उस रिस्क को मिटिगेट करने के लिए, उस रिस्क को अवॉइड करने के लिए, generally the banks charge the higher rate of interest on the unsecured loans as compared to the secured loans. I hope I'm going good, because these are the things which are more practical kind of orientations or practical kind of approaches Because till now you may have learned what is secured loan. Secured loan is the loan against which a person is giving some security, that is called a secured loan. Unsecured loan is the loan against which no security is given, that's it. But we need not understand it like that. We have to understand the practical aspect of that. We have to understand the concept of that. क्यों बैंक सिक्योर्ड लोन अनसिक्योर्ड लोन देती है? अनसिक्योर्ड लोन में कोई सिक्योरिटी नहीं है, फिर भी बैंक लोन देने के लिए तैयार क्यों हो जाती है? क्योंकि बैंक को ये पता रहते हुए कि यह खतरा ज्यादा है, उस खतरे को अवॉइड करने के लिए वो ज्यादा ब्याज लगाती है, ज्यादा इंटरेस्ट लगाती है, बाय दैट वे ऑटोमेटिकली सेट इट ऑफ. उसके बाद में अगर पैसा डूबता है, then in that case the bank has already charged a higher rate of interest, right? और बैंक को ये बहुत अच्छी तरह से पता है कि हर किसी को अपना नाम बहुत प्यारा होता है. If you are not repaying your loans, then in that case your credit worthiness get affected because of that. And that's why the people do repay the unsecured loans as well. If I give you the examples of the secured loans, the housing loan is your secured loan. The loan against property is your secured loan. Gold loan is a secured loan. Car loan is a secured loan. There are certain business loans also which are secured loans. However, remember a point that there are certain secured loans in which case the bank not only asks you for the primary security, but they ask you for some additional security. What is that additional security? We call that as the collateral security. Like take for example, the bank gives you the loan against your stock of goods. Like businesses के केस में कई बार होता है कि आपके पास आपके बिजनेस में जो स्टॉक बचा हुआ है, जो स्टॉक पड़ा है, उसके अगेंस्ट आपको बैंक लोन देने के लिए तैयार हो जाती है. बट बैंक को ये बहुत अच्छी तरह से पता है कि आपके स्टॉक की वैल्यू फ्लक्चुएट, कम ज्यादा होते रहती है. और अगर आपके स्टॉक की वैल्यू कम ज्यादा होते रहती है, in that case, to have a kind of better support or to have a kind of better control, what bank does is they ask you for some additional facility, additional security. And that additional facility or additional security is what we call as a collateral security. So for getting a particular loan, for getting the funding from the bank, if along with your primary security, if along with your security against which you have taken the loan from the bank is asking for some additional security, such additional security is called as a collateral security. Am I clear for everyone? So whenever you have given the collateral security, it's just for the sake of understanding. लोन का तौर तरीका वही रहेगा, लोन का बिहेवियर वही रहेगा. जितना आपने बैंक से फंडिंग लिया हुआ है उसके अगेंस्ट बैंक आपको ब्याज लगाने वाली है, पर उसके अगेंस्ट उन्होंने सिक्योरिटी कितनी ली है. बेस्ड ऑन दैट यू डिसाइड वेदर इट इज अ सिक्योर्ड लोन और अनसिक्योर्ड लोन. देयर आर सम लोन्स व्हिच आर पार्टली सिक्योर्ड आल्सो. आपने 10 करोड़ का लोन लिया हुआ और 6 करोड़ की ही प्रॉपर्टी दी हुई है. इन दैट केस इट विल बी कॉल्ड एज अ पार्टली सिक्योर्ड लोन. Am I going good? हाँ या ना? अरे यार बताते रहा करो, मुझे पता चले कि मैं प्रवचन कर रहा हूं या सामने वाले लोग मुझे सुनते रह रहे हैं. यस, सिर्फ हाथ भी ऊपर कर दिए तो भी सफिशिएंट हो जाता है मुरली. बार बार तुम यस यस टाइप करते हो, मुझे ऐसे लगता है सामने वाले बंदों को लग रहा है चलो यार मास्टर को फिर से एक बार मऊ बनाया है. यस, ऐसी वाली फीलिंग आती है तुमको? नहीं ना? अच्छे बच्चे हो ना तुम? हाँ, गुड बॉयज, गुड गर्ल्स. चलो, हाँ मैं यहाँ गला फाड़ फाड़ के तुमको बता रहा हूँ और तुम मेरी बात को ऐसे इग्नोर मार दो तो अच्छा नहीं लगता है यार. क्यों ऐसा एहसास हो रहा है मुझे पता है आपको. हुआ यूं कि स्टार्ट राइटिंग फॉर द लॉन्ग टर्म लाइबिलिटीज. राइट डाउन द फर्स्ट बुलेट इन दैट. The borrowings for a period generally more than a year Yes, Abbas, we have the classes till CA final. And with the same team, borrowings for a period generally more than a year are termed as the long-term liabilities. Next point. Practically, these long-term liabilities are for 3 to 5 years or more than that. Next point. These liabilities include under that first bullet, small bullet, secured loans, under the secured loans write down, when a borrowing is made by a business, against the security of an asset, it is a secured loan. It is a secured loan. Next point within that. The asset against which the loan is provided is called as primary security. It can be any of those, Sudeep. Sudeep's question is whether it should be a personal asset or a business asset. It can be any of the asset. It can be a personal asset, it can be a business asset against which you have been given the loan. The security against which, the asset against which the loan is given is termed as the primary security. Next point. If the bank or financial institution demand an additional security, other than the primary security, other than the primary security, it is called as the collateral security. It is called as the collateral security. Is the point right? Keep a line blank and then write down next bullet, unsecured loans. When a bank or a financial institution, when a bank or a financial institution takes the borrowing, sorry, provides the funds. Neeraj, wait, I'll give you the answer. Provides the funds without taking any asset as a security, without taking any asset as a security, and it is provided only considering the credit worthiness of the borrower. It is provided only considering the credit worthiness of the borrower, comma, is called as the unsecured loans. Is called as the unsecured loans. Am I right? Yeah, Neeraj has the question, can a businessman take a long or short-term loan for his business against his personal assets? See, it depends on the bank's policies. अगर मेरा प्रोप्राइटरशिप बिजनेस है तो मेरी पर्सनल एसेट कैन बी कंसीडर्ड फॉर द पर्पस ऑफ माय बिजनेस लोन. Banks do provide such kind of loans. So it depends from bank to bank policies. आप कौन से पर्पस के लिए लोन ले रहे हो? It all depends on that, and based on that the banks decide whether the loan should be given for a business considering the personal assets of the owner. क्योंकि बैंक का अल्टीमेट इंटरेस्ट सिक्योरिटी में होता है, चाहे वो पर्सनल हो या बिजनेस हो, that doesn't make any difference for the banks. So generally they do provide it. However, it depends on the policies of the bank. Right? एक काम करते हैं, बाकी के दोनों लाइबिलिटीज भी लिख लेते हैं और उसके बाद मैं तुमको एक्सप्लेन करता हूं. राइट डाउन करंट लाइबिलिटीज. आज जीबी सर के लेक्चर के बाद में तुमको पता चला होगा कि मेरी हैंडराइटिंग बहुत अच्छी है. कल तक क्या तुम मेरी हैंडराइटिंग पे बहुत गाली देते थे, मुझे मालूम है, बट आज उनका लेक्चर अटेंड करने के बाद में यू मस्ट हैव रियलाइज्ड, नो मनीष सर's हैंडराइटिंग इज वेरी गुड, एमटी इज फाइन, isn't it? है ना, मेरी हैंडराइटिंग अच्छी है ना? हाँ, गुड बॉयज. ऐसा मेरा मोरल बूस्ट करते रहा करो. पर सोचो ना, मैं ये हैंडराइटिंग में सीए बन गया हूं. सारे बंदे जिनकी हैंडराइटिंग बकवास है वो तो सारे खुश हो गए होंगे, चलो यार अगर ये बंदा सीए बन सकता है तो कोई भी बन सकता है. ऑफ कोर्स ये बात भी फैक्ट है, अगर मैं सीए बन सकता है तो कोई भी सीए बन सकता है. क्यों बताऊं? बिकॉज इन माय हाईएस्ट परसेंटेज that I've earned, that I've secured in my life is 67%. highest percentage of my life has been 67%. That was in my 10th standard. In my 12th standard, commerce, I got 63%. And I'm a chartered accountant today. So it doesn't make any difference what kind of percentage you get in your 11th and 12th standard or 10th or 12th standard. It all depends on your hard work, efforts, and efficiency when you're doing CA course, right? So do not have a kind of fear or do not have the overconfidence, right? Yes, Neeraj has a further question. Why will a business with good credit worthiness take unsecured loan by paying more rate of interest instead of taking secured loan against his assets and pay less interest? Mr. Neeraj Shah, अगर बिजनेस के पास सच में एसेट्स होती तो वो अनसिक्योर्ड लोन्स की तरफ कभी जाएंगे ही नहीं ना. Like till last year, the business that I was talking about that my wife has, there were no assets as such other than stock and debtors. तो उस समय पे हमको प्राइमरी सिक्योरिटी स्टॉक एंड डेटर के अगेंस्ट ही लोन लेना पड़ता था. दैट वाज टिपिकली अ काइंड ऑफ अनसिक्योर्ड लोन. बट अब हमने एक प्रॉपर्टी खरीद ली है तो नाउ वी आर थिंकिंग टू कन्वर्ट दैट इनटू द सिक्योर्ड लोन अगेंस्ट द अनसिक्योर्ड लोन. Right. So of course, it is always preferable to have a secured loan wherein the rate of interest is generally lesser. You have more negotiation capacity. Right. So ऐसा होता है. That's fine. Your attitude is, your thinking is correct. Attitude नहीं, but your thinking is correct. But the point is what? There has to be some asset with the business or not first. क्योंकि अगर business के पास सच में asset होते तो वो secured loan ही लेते ना. Right. Okay. So write down about the current liabilities. How will business with no assets have good credit worthiness? भाई मैं रोज 100 रुपए का माल लेके आता है, 150 रुपए में बेचता है, 50 रुपए में से 25 रुपए का खाना खाता है और 25 रुपए बचा के रखता है, या 10 रुपए बचा के रखता है, 15 रुपए खर्चा करता है. तो 10 रुपए रोज का प्रॉफिट, ये this creates the good credit worthiness in the market. But that does not mean that the business will create the assets out of that. क्रेडिट वर्दीनेस डू नॉट मीन दैट यू आर हैविंग द फैंटास्टिक, तुम्हारे पास 2-4 करोड़ के एसेट्स हैं और उसके बाद ही तुम्हारा क्रेडिट वर्दीनेस बनता है. क्रेडिट वर्दीनेस मींस यू आर हैविंग द गुड पेइंग कैपेसिटी और यू आर हैविंग द गुड पेइंग इंटेंशंस. यू हैव नॉट डिफॉल्टेड ऑन एनीथिंग. दैट इज व्हाट इज कॉल्ड एज क्रेडिट वर्दीनेस. Do not misunderstand the credit worthiness along with or against the assets of the business. मैं पूरी तरह से लुक्खा रहता हूं हमेशा, मेरे जेब में कुछ भी पैसे नहीं होते, बट आई हैव गॉट अ स्ट्रॉन्ग क्रेडिट वर्दीनेस इन द मार्केट. फॉर योर काइंड इंफॉर्मेशन, तुम लोगों की जानकारी के लिए बता दूं, मुझे रोज का 150 रुपए मिलता है और 150 रुपए होने के बावजूद मेरा क्रेडिट वर्दीनेस बहुत है. नहीं, कार्ड वगैरह की भी जरूरत नहीं पड़ती है. मैं अगर पर्स नहीं भी लेके जाऊं ना जेब में तो भी मेरा काम बन जाता है. दैट सिर्फ मोबाइल होना चाहिए या आसपास में कोई एक बंदा होना चाहिए पहचान वाला, बस. I have to just make a call and I will just get the credit created there itself. मैं कहां कहां चले जाता हूं, like I had been to Bengaluru and वहां कोई पहचान वाला नहीं था. I had brought the goods without paying any even a single rupee. बिजनेस के लिए गुड्स लाए थे हमने, विदाउट पेइंग इवन a single rupee. वो बंदे ने गुड्स भेज दिए थे. दिल्ली वाला हमारा एक पार्टी था, हम लोग 1.5 साल तक के कभी मिले ही नहीं थे. And that person started dispatching the goods without taking even a single rupee. 1.5-2 लाख रुपए आउटस्टैंडिंग होता था उसका, होता है, होता था क्या. I didn't meet him at that time. 1.5 साल तक उससे मुलाकात नहीं हुई थी. Only based on your talks, only based on your transactions, your credit worthiness gets created. It's not only on the basis of your asset class and on the basis of which car in which you are roaming around. मैं अगर मर्सिडीज लोन पे लेके अगर उसमें घूम रहा हूं तो उसका कोई फायदा नहीं है. इससे अच्छा मारुति सुजुकी अल्टो में घूमूं without taking any loan, right or not? So credit worthiness is a different concept as compared to having the assets, right? Shall I go ahead? नीरज, तू बोलेगा तो मैं आगे जाएगा, नहीं तो फिर मैं कुछ बात करना चालू करता हूँ, फिर बीच में तू सवाल टपकाता है और फिर मैं टेम्प्ट हो जाता हूँ कि उस सवाल का जवाब दे दूं. नीरज रेजिंग हैंड, मैं आगे जाऊं या रुक जाऊं? ओके, थैंक यू. Yes, write down current liabilities. These are the liabilities for the business which are repayable in a short period of time, generally less than a year. Generally less than a year. Next point. The current liabilities are the liabilities towards the owners, and unsecured in nature. Liabilities towards the owner and unsecured in nature. Next point, it includes creditors, comma, बैंक ओवरड्राफ्ट. बैंक ओवरड्राफ्ट मींस आपके ही अकाउंट पे आपने थोड़ा एक्सेस पैसा उठा लिया, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज बैंक ओवरड्राफ्ट. बैंक ओवरड्राफ्ट एटसेट्रा. Right? Next one, write down provisions. Provisions. Under that, first bullet, an amount that is kept aside. Now here I'm not using the term as profit, here I'm using the term as amount. An amount that is kept aside for an anticipated expense or loss, for an anticipated expense or loss, because if it is X, it pains, and therefore there is a loss, and you don't have in laws. For an anticipated expense or loss, comma, it is called as provision. It is called as provision. Next point. The amounts against provisions are also payable in a short period of time, generally less than a year. Generally less than a year. Am I right? Generally less than a year. Now below that, write down the distinction between the the reserves and provisions. Two parts you write down, reserves and provisions. First part, reserves, second part, provisions. Under the reserves part, write down reserves are the profits kept aside for future use. Kept aside for future use within the business. Under the provisions, write down it is the amount that is kept aside it is the amount that is kept aside for an anticipated expense or loss. मतलब क्या हुआ, रिजर्व्स के लिए आपने जो पैसा रखा है वो खर्च होगा या नहीं होगा ये अब तक के हमें पता नहीं है, बट जब हम प्रोविजंस की बात करते हैं तो ये हमारा नुकसान, ये हमारा खर्च होने ही वाला है, कितना होगा ये नहीं पता. That's why it is called as provision. Right? Next point, under the reserves, write down the reserves are the appropriation of profits. The reserves are the appropriation of profits. Under provisions, write down the provisions are charge against profit. What do I mean by appropriation? Appropriation means division and distribution. आपका जो टोटल प्रॉफिट है उसको आप डिवाइड करते हो और उसको डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करते हो अमंग द डिफरेंट स्टेक होल्डर्स. दैट इज व्हाई इट इज कॉल्ड एज एप्रोप्रिएशन. बट व्हाट इज चार्ज, कि आपको ये खर्च करना ही है. दैट्स व्हाई इट इज कॉल्ड एज चार्ज अगेंस्ट प्रॉफिट. ऑलराइट, नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, द थर्ड वन, राइट डाउन reserves can be created. Reserves can be created only when there are the profits within the business. Reserves can be created only when there are the profits within the business. मतलब अगर आपके पास प्रॉफिट नहीं तो रिजर्व्स नहीं बना सकते हो. Under provisions, write down the provisions are created. The provisions are created even in the year of losses. The provisions are created even in the year of losses. Am I right? So that's the distinction between reserves and provisions. I hope this conceptual part, what we have talked about today with reference to the liabilities, and in fact, whatever we have been talking about till now from the point of expense, income, assets, liabilities, these all have gone absolutely clear for you all. Because from tomorrow onwards, the next sessions that we will be having now forward, in all those sessions, I'll be talking about the transactions and the accounting and the journal and the subsidiary books. So hopefully till now, whatever has gone perfect for everyone. I'll stop by here itself. And then from next session, we'll be starting to talk about the first part of transactions. Am I right? So we'll meet tomorrow at 4:30. Thank you. Thank you very much.